What is going on, guys? Joey here, and you know what time it is. Gonna go through Russ's national meet. Um, just gonna kind of go through his video that he has so graciously put up for us. Shout out to Duhan for getting the footage and helping. He did the thumbnail for this video, did the picture for this video. Um, you know, thanks for all that, man. You are a valuable asset, and I hope the people recognize that you are very talented. Anyway, nationals went pretty smooth. Aside from what happened on squats, you guys, I'm gonna get to that when it comes up on the video. I think yeah, right now the video is on weigh-ins. So Russ typically sits around 190, maybe a little bit over 190 in off season, right? Because we lifters train year round. It's not really like football where you have different gears. Especially with the kind of so nationals and worlds, there's a little room for downtime, but you know you kind of gotta always have your foot on the gas in some capacity. Like your foot's always on the gas, just how hard you're pushing. Um, just depends on timing. Again, if you guys want to hear what he's saying, this is all in his video in the description below. Um, yeah, weigh-ins, nice and smooth. We've done the same. World's weigh-in went really, really well, so we just wanted to really replicate that. And as you can see, he's not dying. He doesn't feel like it was a hard cut or anything. He usually, gets his weight within 5-ish pounds of where he needs to be. Then he loses a couple more during the week, and then he just kind of saunas to get there. Um, Very minimally invasive cut. Shouldn't really affect anything. But a lot of stuff happened, which you guys will see. I believe this is his last warm up. I think we're gonna roll right into squats. I'm just gonna fast forward it here. So opening squat, I believe it was 666. Super easy. I actually want to look at that again. I mean, we can't even see his hip, but as you guys know, it got turned down for depth. Um, And immediately when he came off the platform, he was very confident, and his demeanor was just like, "Yo, I'm feeling good today." Um, I had already the whole plan in my notes what I wanted to do for meet day. I had like, okay, what is the minimum number we need to hit to really kind of seal this thing? Let's say our opposition is on point. Let's say our opposition brings the heat, and they're as strong as they're gonna be. If I take my opposition's high end numbers, what does Russ need to hit? On his low end to make sure that we can still pull through on deadlift. And that was this number that you guys saw. It was the record. If there was no record in play, I probably would have done, what is it, the 3 kilos less. But luckily, when you have the opportunity to take a record, I think that you should. Um, I don't know if that number in the bottom right is correct. I would actually have to check that. But I mean, so anyway, we went up, right? And I want to kind of explain why we went up. I just want to look one more time from this angle. I mean, this is obviously not the best angle for judging depth. Um, it's so hard to tell. I saw this video from a different angle, and it looks all right to me. But it just really depends on kind of where in his knee are you judging. If you're judging it from right here, it's rough. You know what I mean? So, um, I want to actually see his third before I get to. Yeah, okay. So this was the second attempt right here because it was the same weight twice. This is the second attempt right here. So I think that's a little mistake, but no big deal. 391, or sorry, 691, 313 and a half kg. And coming into this meet, like it was like people forgot about Worlds and they didn't even look at Taylor in the back. They didn't even they didn't even look at. Usually, I know Russ hits depth when look at this knee. This knee will kind of come in a little bit, just a tiny bit. And that's just kind of like his body saying, "Yo, I'm about to bottom out." I don't really think he can get any lower than that, honestly. But we ended up getting this squat. I want to kind of go through why I chose to go up. I've been in this situation many times before. You guys already know with John Hack, we did it once. I can think of many times with other lifters. You guys probably don't know where I've had to be in this situation. And I'm obviously experienced. I am not afraid of going up. I am not afraid of putting everything on one lift, putting everything on the line. And I know what comes with the consequences. So I made some notes here as to why we went up. My number one reason was obviously I have faith in Russ, right? He had hit fucking 730 in the gym. If we can't hit this to depth, then I think we kind of deserve whatever pain and anguish and fucking punishment comes with that, right? Also, as far as I know, we're not doing worlds, right? We don't want to go to Belarus, so it's not like we're losing out there, right? Um, Sheffield is already locked. Obviously, he won worlds. They already released their criteria, so that is already unlocked whether he wins this meet or not, right? This meet was more for just kind of it's more like asserting dominance, just maintaining the three-time, getting that three-time win. I had really, 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 really wanted him to win this one. It's crazy. Like every meet, my desire for Russ to win, like I always feel like instead of it being like nationals, worlds, and nationals, it's like nationals, worlds, and nationals. You know what I mean? It just goes up and up. I just want him to win the more because the more wins you collect, you kind of like gain momentum, and it's like you're on a streak, right? And you want to kind of keep that streak going. Um, so I just want to keep him on top as long as I can, and I really wanted him to win this one. So, uh, you know, coming into this squat, I don't know if there's going to be footage of it, but coming into this squat, um, I also had him put his belt a little bit higher just to kind of create a little bit of room um, to get down there. Let me get them lights, baby. Yeah, so this is kind of like we kind of explain it here, but I wanted him to get that really bad. I was like, as a coach, I put in a number, and I think to myself, I've done all that I can, right? There's nothing more that I can do now. It's all on the lifter to kind of they have to finish, they have to execute, right? And he got it done. You got to have faith in your lifter. There's going to be times when um, like for example, let's say I stay in his opener, right? And let's say the same thing happens. He misses his second and then he buries his third. Now it's like, okay, the other lifters are gonna start trying to take shots to um, try to win, right? In retrospect, I don't think the opposition at all. I mean, clearly by what they put up, um, nobody was in range to take to even if we got our opener squat. I don't think anybody would have beat Russ. Um, But I mean, that's in retrospect. I would rather just take a little bit of a risk, kind of secure it, and then, all right, cool. We got the big squat out the way. Bench is automatic. We're gonna get those three for sure, and then we're just gonna come in on deadlift. Pretty sure he wins on a second deadlift, and then we can just kind of relax from there. There was some stuff that happened on his squats. I'm gonna run it back. Let's see if you guys can actually notice. Look at his singlet, right? There's a get better today on this one, and then on the third there's none because this ref right here, he pulled me aside and he said, he can't wear that. He has to change it. Russ, I guess, had gotten an email from Titan saying that he could wear it, so they're not on the same page. Other people in USAPL told me it was okay, but at the end of the day, like we gotta make I was just like, you know what, man, just fucking change it. Let's just make everybody happy. I don't want any problems, so he changed his singlet because they had an issue with this. And to this day, I still don't know if it's approved because they don't even know. So, um, yeah, that is that. I'm just gonna kind of let this roll while I talk. But yeah, he got that squat. I was like a little, on edge. I was like, damn, like if we don't get this, uh, it's not that he couldn't lift it. It's just, he didn't execute, but he got it done. So, luckily we didn't have to experience that reality. And, I went into this meet, like, hey, we want to win. And if we're not going to get something like this, we're probably going to lose anyway. Like I said, I have way more. I had way more. Respect is not the right word because I respect all lifters. It is. I just had way more. I expected more opposition. I expected them to bring more heat. I expected them to just be on. And I was looking at the attempts of the other lifters. A lot of other 83s are just missing lifts. So I mean, it is what it is. We just kind of. I'd rather be over prepared for a meet than underprepared. But I was absolutely ready to battle. I was ready to come down to the last deadlift and squab and shit like that. But I guess it's good that I have that mentality. To always respect your opposition because the moment that you just kind of assume. If you assume that you won too early, that just leaves the door open for someone to come in and take you by surprise. So, uh, yeah, I mean, getting into bench now. I'm gonna run this forward a little bit. So getting into bench, Russ's bench is Russ's bench, man. It is that lift where we can put in. I know he does hella pressing bodybuilding movements. I have him benching 4 times a week, and I'll ask him. I remember asking him. I was like, "Yo, man, how do you feel? Do you feel worked at the end of the week? Do you feel like you're training hard and shit like that?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I feel like my pecs a little bit. They get a little tense and shit like that." So I'm just like. I gotta be careful, I can only push bench so much. I know we're really trying to push bench, but bench is one of those lifts where, you know, weight moves weight, and unless you're gonna really alter your body to kind of gain some significant mechanical advantage, then you just gotta kind of accept the progress that you make on bench is probably gonna be, for Russ, right at this point, it's either going to be 5 to 10 pounds in an entire year. You know what I mean? Um, and that's just everybody's got that lift. He's very jacked. He clearly has a ton of muscle. It's just he's got super long arms too. So, he's got to just build as much muscle as possible to kind of overcome that. Maybe when he's 192-ish in the off season, right? He might be able to smash that weight for a double, but once you cut down the weight, bench is a very leverage dependent lift, kind of like the squat, and your body weight really affects that. So, I mean, I'm happy we got all three, but I mean, I'm always trying to just push him as much as I can on bench without injuring him, um, and then just dialing back, let his body recover, and kind of let those gains manifest. But I mean, bench is just a transition between squat and deadlift, honestly. Uh, Coming into deadlift, we're up by a fuck ton. I'm not gonna lie, we're up by a shit ton, and I was just like, all right, so let me do the math. See, okay, so if we pull this, we pretty much win. He probably could have won on his opener. Um, I mean, he could have won on his opener, but that's one of the things, guys. Honestly, I think this nationals, the reason why this nationals was so easy, like from just like my perspective, like from a coaching perspective, in terms of like honestly for us as me, I didn't have to work nearly as hard as I did mentally, like in terms of making calls, as I did for Mikey, for example, was like someone said something really nice about me getting him to secure second like that, and I had been warmed up all week, so I was very sharp when it came to like reading the scoreboard and deciphering numbers and lot numbers and all that shit. Um, so with Russ's meet, I think the loss at Worlds in 2018 kind of had us really, really, really training hard for an entire year. Um, we didn't have any injuries. We worked really hard. So boom, we blow up Worlds. We win that. That whole thing kind of propelled us, and then we kind of like ride that momentum kind of into nationals, and it just kind of makes everything smooth. It makes everything like if he didn't take that loss, maybe the mindset isn't where it needs to be in order for him to just make every meet after that, as good as it is. So I definitely think that this he was clearly stronger at nationals, clearly stronger. I mean, the squat that was his third squat at Worlds. He squatted less than he did at nationals at Worlds, and it was harder. And then he came here and he had hit the same weight twice. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think that did play a role into his deadlift. Um, But also after this deadlift, there was a really long like time between his second deadlift and his third deadlift because the score table had there was like some miscommunication. Um, there was some sort of fuck up. I don't know what it was, but I just remember we waited like fucking 20 minutes, maybe more. It was like 20 minutes, and then the flight got to finish up thirds. Someone had to do a relift. It was just a bunch of shit that went on. Um, so I mean, to be frank, I think he just got cold by his third deadlift because I mean, if you look at this and how hard it was, I only jumped 5 keys, which would have been unofficial world record total in deadlift, I believe. World record deadlift. Yeah, the national deadlift is higher than the world. Yeah, so I only went up 5 kilos um, to that weight that you see right there. I'm yelling all kinds of shit. I'm hyped up. I'm amped up. Nico was my little helper for the week. Thank you, Nico, for volunteering your time. Dude wouldn't even let me pay him. What a stand-up guy. Yeah, there's no way 5 kilos is gonna make turn that right into as hard as a lift as his third was. Um, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? Fucking shit happens. We had to wait 20 minutes. Everybody else has to wait 20 minutes. It didn't even matter at this point. I was just trying to. Honestly, this would have just been icing on the cake. It just would have been like kind of just super duper solidifying. Um, I'm screaming out 3 time in the back. Actually, let me see if I can. I was very happy for him, but yeah, we ended up getting it done. I mean, that's just one of the good things about having a solid base and just working really, really hard for a year straight and not letting up and not burning out and just fucking pushing it when you need to push it. It just makes shit like this a lot easier. When the time comes, and yeah, I'm trying to yeah. So gonna go through notes really quick, see if there's anything else. Oh yes, really quickly on his deadlift. I had been on him about grip, and he knows that when it comes time, just to hold the bar a little bit lower in the hand, right? He has really strong fingers, and he can actually hold like a ton of weight in his fingers. Um, I don't know if that played into this. I don't want to blame it on the platform. I really think it was just a long break, and it's hard to kind of stay aroused and amped up, for 3.5 hours or whatever. Um, but I mean, we can still do the best that we can to try to mitigate this. I want this to be a second attempt next time, um, easily, and then we just kind of go from there. We came ready. Unfortunately, on squat, we had to deal with that, and that's definitely not going to happen at Worlds. I will at Worlds. It's different because there's. What am I talking about? Worlds. Sheffield is different. Um, I will talk about it when I can talk about it, but just the entire mindset coming into it and the way that I'm going to pick attempts is going to be a lot different. There's more things to worry about and there's more things to consider. So we'll talk about that when the time comes. I'll probably do a whole video on it. Yeah, rather be over prepared. Already went through that. I'm glad we got the win. I'm not content, but I'm excited to push from here, and just push him to be, the best lifter that he can possibly be. It's very interesting because, when you talk about, I was talking to someone the other day about like best lifter by IPF points is just kind of like this thing that we've decided to kind of do it, right? I don't think IPF points is better than Wilkes. I think it's just different. Um, he has to hit some pretty crazy stuff to beat the last 2 meets that Taylor's hit, because Taylor, I think, is currently number 1 right now. But I mean, we're right there. We were like in my head, had he gotten his third, and his deadlift had a little bit more sauce on it, I think we could have beaten it. But it is what it is. It gives us something to push towards, right? I told Russ he's not going to run into opposition He is not going to run into opposition really at the national level. I think the other 83s have some things they need to figure out and sort out before they really kind of get to where Russ is at. Um, but yeah, like I said, we're just gonna keep pushing, keep him healthy, keep moving forward. I want to push limits, man. I want to take the sport to the next level. I think Russ is one of those guys that can do it. I have a great group team, Amanda, Keiko, Mikey, everybody else. Like we're just gonna. I got like the next generation I'm working on. Um, I just want to keep it pushing, guys. I want to keep it moving forward. Next year is gonna be rather crazy. So I am already kind of thinking about that and using these holidays to put my mind in 2020 and just think about what I need to do to get everyone where I need them to go. Um, and I'm just excited for the future. So, like I said, I'm happy we got the dub. We definitely have some things we can fix, um, mainly in the squat, and we're just gonna keep it rolling. If you guys made it this far, you guys already know what to do. This is a Russ video, so we're gonna do get better today in the comments down below. Um, Let me know your favorite moment from the meet, your favorite moment from nationals. That was the most viewed 83 kg session, or just primetime session. Um, so I'm really interested to see what you guys think. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know in the comments below, and I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.